www.bbc.co.uk.
Welcome back to the Champions League pool here on Free Sports. What a night we've had so far. Halfway point has been reached of Group 4 in the Champions League, and we've already seen a pretty major exit. Jordan Shepherd is out of the Champions League. 2 defeats for the Welsh Wizard has seen him exit the competition, and it's all in the balance for our other 3 players now, who all have a win apiece. This next match between Brian Halcrow and Neil Raybone, Simon, takes on a lot of importance and a lot of significance.
It really does, yeah, absolutely. This is it's been a big surprise. It's been a very dramatic night already so far, but yeah, all 3 players already on 2 points. The winner of this match will have it in their own hands. Not the best break from Brian to start off this match.
Yeah, just have a review there, please. Can you stop the match, please? Can you see? Can you check that?
And we're going to get to see a review with our referee, Viv Fresco, just
involved.
asking for a review of the break to make sure it is a 4-point ball. It looks very tight.
You can watch it on there.
Just to recap, you need 4 or more points to be a legal break. That's a point for every ball past the centre line.
Just 3.
Oh, that 4th one's close.
Yeah, I was going to say, and a point for every ball potted. So this one will come down to whether Viv decides that red has gone past the centre pocket. And she's decided that it stayed on the line. So it will be a foul break, and this will be a re-rack. Neil Raybone will get the opportunity to either break or allow Brian Halcrow to break again.
Well, it's first instance rather of pull VAR, and I think that worked pretty well.
It did, yeah. You could clearly see 3 balls went all the way around the table past that centre line. It's the only question came down to that 4th one, and I'm guessing that I'm not 100% certain on the rule whether it has to go fully past that centre line or not. And I think what's been decided there is that the ball stayed on the line and didn't go past it. So pretty easy one for Viv to call.
Yeah, we've seen plenty of controversy with video technology in other sports, but I think that was pretty crystal clear and quite quick, I'd say. Just more on the significance of this match, obviously, Simon. Neil versus Brian, these 2 know each other very, very well, both played on many a tour together and all have run into each other in various different competitions. 2 actually quite similar players in how they approach the game and their style of play, I'd say, too.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's, both players are more, they'll play the right percentage shot. That's what they're looking for. They'll always work out all their percentages. The only caveat to that is the fact that with 20 seconds a shot, it's hard to do that. It's hard to work your way through those sort of decisions. You have to, as Neil goes in off on the break, so Brian gets the chance anyway.
What a result for Brian Halcrow that is.
So all that, and it's still Brian that gets the first opportunity. But just to finish off what I was saying, yeah, 20 seconds a shot, it really is, you have to go with your first instinct. You haven't got time to sort of second guess yourself and work out, is this the percentage shot? So you'd say that a little bit unnatural for both Brian and Neil with such a quick pace.
Yeah, you'd describe these 2 previously as more steady players, wouldn't you? They'd take their time over shots and they'd make sure it was all lined up. That's not what this competition is all about. It is fast and furious. And I think a conversation that we've had before on different coverages is actually sometimes when you bring the clock down quite a bit, it forces people's hands, and quite often the cream rises to the top in that respect.
Well, a good example of that with Neil winning the Premier League, which was 30 seconds a shot, we saw that a year or so ago, was the fact that many would say that would be a tough one for Neil, that he's not going to be comfortable with 30 seconds a shot. But he's on record as saying that he really liked it because it almost forced him to make that decision more often than not. Lovely shot from Brian. He would have rather than like stayed on the right at the bottom of the table, but he's still on the chance here. But yeah, Neil, he wants to the 30 seconds, or now it's 20 seconds. It sort of forces his hand. He has to make that decision and go with his first thought. I think that's really helped him.
So let's keep travelling. Oh, it's left him in a bit of a halfway house here. I think he can cut it back. Let's have a look at this. I think he might be in trouble.
Even if he can cut it back, he can't play position onto his last ball, I don't think. So he's looking at the long double because it's a big pocket to the top left. It's squeezed off, nearly went in the centre.
It really nearly did. Oh, a let off for Neil here. It's a little unlucky, Brian, because I thought he played a really good cannon onto the black and didn't really get rewarded with
Extension call.
a good white. It was a difficult shot after that.
I think he got a second cannon and just sort of made it all go a bit awkward. But this is still awkward for Neil. Not a clean run to the line. 2 yellows on the right-hand side.
He already called his extension. 0-0. Both players have used their extension. Brian went the entire match, first time around, without using his. And Neil's a centimetre, maybe a centimetre and a half off a perfect shot there, but the double kiss has gone against him.
A fraction higher up the table, and that would have been perfect. Yellow would have popped out. It would have stayed on the other one down the cushion. As it is, it's just going to be a safety shot, but he is in control with a good safety shot here. And he's got a big margin of error on it, and he's played it well.
Yeah, you could probably say he's played that perfectly. Full ball snooker, I think.
I know it's the obvious ball to play on to get up the table, but the other thing he does in that safety shot is he develops a bad ball.
Well, I'd say that you get your reward from playing a good safety. There it is. Good hit. It's unlucky, isn't it, with the cannon off the yellow, and then an extra just nudge into the pocket from the red just to make sure. Tough one that for Brian, but ball in hand for Neil Raybone, and there should be no further mistakes from here. This should be relatively routine.
Yeah, plant at the top of the table is no real problem.
Yeah, this is the big match of the night so far. Both players with a win on their records tonight, and to the top of the show, it will come down to the finest of margins this match tonight. You might just have seen it there.
That 8 ball, Neil Raybone does get this first frame on the board. Brian Halcrow had the first opportunity after both players foul breaked, which was a see. But it is Neil Raybone who gets the frame on the board, and he's up and running just like he did in his first match. Gets the first frame. And Stephen Jameson has just popped out to get a few words with John Ray.
Yeah, I certainly have. John, congratulations on the win there in that second match. It's been tough for you tonight, a loss and a win, but 2 really, really good performances from you in both.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to get that win. I could sort of tell Jordan wasn't totally at it, so I was just pleased to get the line, help me settle in a little bit more, because before it was like the quickest 20 seconds of your life, basically, each shot, and you think you can play another shot, but at the time you're just there, and sometimes just what comes to your mind quickest, you just got to play. So I was pleased to get that out of the way after the first game. I wish I got the double, but didn't go in, and I lost. So still got a chance, and so I've got to keep doing what I can do.
Well, you mentioned actually on commentary that you seem to be in full-on game mode. With you could see the intensity in your eyes, the concentration was right in there. I know you spoke to Simon earlier. You mentioned you've not had huge amounts of tournament practice in recent years. Has it been nice to get back into it tonight? Yeah,
it's a shame it's not sort of a longer format, a day event or something like that, because it's going to be over in an hour, and then I'll be going back home, win or lose sort of thing. So, but yeah, it's nice to feel a bit of a buzz here. It definitely feels like a good competition. So just got to see how it goes from here for me.
One more match left tonight. It could be all on the line for you as well. You give yourself a chance.
I'm just going to try and win it no matter what. That's all I can do. there's going to be a last game with Jordan and Neil. Obviously, that's going to be a big game as well. And whether Jordan could pick himself up a little bit and give a performance, I don't know. But I'll just do what I can do and then go from there.
Wish you the best.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks to you, Si.
Great to get the thoughts of John. 1 win and 1 loss so far, but still very much in this group tonight. It will depend on what happens with Neil, Brian in this match. As to say, the opening 2 breaks from Neil have not been great. His opening match he broke fantastically well. Not the same so far in this match. As Stephen Jameson rejoins me.
Hello, hello. Interesting to hear from John there, in the sense that quite an interesting perspective as a man who's obviously not played a lot of competitive pool for sure recently. Wants the night to be longer. Enjoying it, he wants more of it.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. He's starting to really get enjoyment out of the game again, which is great to see.
It's a competition we really love putting on. This format of the rules for me has so much in terms of legs. It's great for that quick, fast, all in one night sort of style, but quite right what John said there. You can certainly get into a tournament in this sort of format as well. So it was played over a weekend or 3 days. Sign me up. It's a tournament I'd like to watch.
I completely agree, although I think unfortunately it's going to be some time before we see that again, with everything that's going on, probably being
well, yeah.
with most of those tournaments you normally got 100, 200 players there, and unfortunately that's just not going to be allowed for, well, I'd imagine for at least 4 to 6 months, but hopefully sooner.
Just going back to the action on the table, that is a beautifully worked out clearance from Neil Raybone to square things up at 1 apiece. Iffy start from Neil in some respects to this match, but that was really, really good from Neil Raybone.
I was just trying to get my head around the fact that it's not very often that you can be 2-0 up and you've had an in-off break and a dry break and you're 2-0 up, but you've only played 2 frames, which is even weirder. It's just the way the game's gone.
This is Brian's profile, man from South Shields. Very passionate Geordie. Spoke to him a little bit earlier. Lovely bloke as well. Loves this pool. Been playing for so many years now. Still got the hunger for it. Gets into game mode. Never know he's one of the happiest, nicest blokes you could ever meet off the pool table. He's got such a game face on him, hasn't he?
I told you, I spoke to him earlier, and he told me something I didn't know, and that's a number of years ago. He went out to America and played a lot of pool out there, and they were playing their version of 8 ball, which is very similar to the rules that we play here with international 8 ball rules. So he said he absolutely loves these rules because of it. He's really become very familiar from his time out there, and very little difference between those rules and these.
Well, not the break he'd have wanted. It is a legal break, mind. 4 balls past centre and a ball made as well, so he's okay in that respect. But both the breaks Brian has hit in this match have been poor ones.
Red ball's in play.
Has he got a chance to clear these reds? Yellows are a bit of a no-go because the 2 that are wedged to the left side cushion, but after his first shot I think he was hoping for a bit more action from the pack there. This is now a really tricky clearance. Does he go for it? No. Probably a wise decision.
I think so. The 2 reds near the 8 ball in the middle of the table, I don't think they plant in either the centre or the corner, certainly not easily. And there was no easy ball to cannon into them. And he had obviously no easy pot from where he was as well, so turns the table over to Neil.
It's quite a clever shot that from Neil. What we could do in those circumstances. Just see, he was constantly watching the clock. He knows he's already used his extension. He can't be too fast and loose with the clock. shot. He's going to end up too close to this red, though. I don't think he's going to be able to play that. Looks like it's almost touching ball from here.
Not quite, but it's still... He might just be able to snick this in. If he can snick it in, can he find the angle to come round
Extension
and
call.
catch the cluster?
Well, if he doesn't have to play it from behind the white, I was going to say, this might be on here. It is. Oh, this is wide open now. Can he make a red, or are they all blocking each other? Can he squeeze through?
I think he's just okay. Yeah, he's getting down quickly.
Well, that now then becomes a brilliant couple of shots from Brian Halcrow. That one he'll probably be less pleased with, I'd imagine.
He wanted something easier than his next pot. If he takes the one in the centre pocket, then he's got to negotiate the path around the 8 ball.
It was a tough pot. It really was. Oh, that's a frustrating one for Brian. Did the hard work in so many ways, but a couple of brilliant shots to give him the opportunity to make the clearance. And then the easiest shot he's had to play in that break. Left a rank white, really. Made that shot much harder than it needed to be, and now these yellows are much more favourable for Neil than they were when he last came to the table. Traffic's been moved out the way. I think these all have homes.
Yeah, just all about working out that path, isn't it? Making sure you get the right angle. A couple underneath his hand there, to the bottom of the table. Just needs the one nearest the cushion. Just needs to make sure he lands nicely on that ball.
Once again, the third frame of this match is a big one to win. Ooh, that's not going to drop. Well then, we talked about it being a big one to win. This is now a massive chance for Brian Halcrow, and you feel this has to go for him. Just caught the cushion, didn't he there, Neil? Chopped it away from the pocket. And this is a massive chance to get himself back in this match. The difference between 2-1 and 3-0 is absolutely ginormous. Perfectly played. Well, Neil's got the next break. I think I've totally lost track of it with the foul break that we had at the start, but I think it's Neil's break next. Either way, it's 2-1 on the scoreboard. Brian Halcrow is back in it. Needed that, and he was given the opportunity, and that's something we've seen quite a bit so far in Brian's matches tonight, when he's been presented that chance, which maybe at certain stages we didn't think was going to happen. He has got himself over the line to win the frame, and it's a good quality to have.
Yeah, I've watched Neil play so many times that I just expected him to just be perfect all the way through that clearance and just make it look really, really simple. He just finished a little bit off angle, didn't make the pot, and he's handed a chance to Brian, and it's amazing how those tough balls seem so much easier when your opponent leaves you an opportunity. You really, it feels more comfortable to be able to make it and to punish the mistake, and Brian's done that. And it is a similar feeling to how that first match went for him. He was 2-0 down there, and here he is again. He's back in this one as well.
He's a wee battler, is Brian.
Going to break, leading 2 frames
He's right
to
in
1.
the mix on this one.
Time running.
Let me be the underdog, he says. Let the others worry about who the favourite is. I can beat anyone. I'm just going to play my game. Right in there. Horrible break from Neil Raybone.
I think that might have been a foul break as well, gentlemen.
The referee, Phil Resco, straight on it. She thinks it's a foul break. I have a feeling it might be. Let's have a watch. Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
Get the choice now,
2 reds and a yellow.
Not, but you would forget the next one as well.
I don't think I've ever seen a match like this. I think every break has been poor.
Yeah, that was a really bad one from Neil, and this time Viv did not need the video assistance to get that one right, because it was such an obvious one. Only 3 balls actually went anywhere. So 2 bad breaks in 4 frames of pool.
Well, this is what we've still got left to play tonight, and also how the table looks right about now. This match so key to how the rest of the group will turn out. But still got Jordan Shepherd versus Neil Raybone, and still got John Rowe versus Brian Halcrow, which is, I mean, that could be everything, that game. If Brian, for example, were to win here, John could win the last game, Neil could win his last game, could have a three-way tie.
Yes, absolutely. We haven't had one yet. We haven't had a 6-red shootout yet. If players are tied on points, it does go to a 6-red shootout rather than to frame difference or anything like that. You'd say that Neil still has, well, both Neil and Brian have it in their own hands, but with Neil having the lead in this match, he probably is in a more comfortable position. Well, he certainly is now.
Would you believe that?
I was counting the balls, didn't
The second time in the match, and we have played 5 frames of a match. There's been a foul break immediately followed by a foul break to turn the table back over. I've genuinely never seen anything like it.
We're only in the 4th frame. It feels like more, but
sorry, I've lost count. It feels like I've seen so many breaks. I feel like the match should be over.
I'm just checking my notes here, and we're in the 4th frame of the match, and each player's had 3 breaks so far. It's just a very, very bizarre statistic.
Well, what I do know is Neil coming back to the table here. It wasn't a great break again from Brian, but it is enough for a chance. These yellows look very inviting. I think the black goes to the bottom right with a route from the centre of the table.
Difficult to tell from that angle whether the black is accessible. Might just about be enough room.
Potted that one a little bit cushion heavy, Neil Raybone. He's okay, it slid down nicely.
Of course, looking to see whether black will go to the bottom of the table. It's
definitely goes to the top left.
It definitely goes to the top left where there's plenty of room, which will be his intended route. Just needs to avoid the reds coming across the table here. I was about to say he needs to make sure that he doesn't finish low on this yellow to make sure that he can get onto the 8 ball to the top.
He's just eyed it up. This is all good. I'll just see him pop this at an angle just to give himself a little bit more room. It's clever.
It was a great camera angle to see how players pinch pockets. That was dead straight into the centre of the pocket. He just pinched it off the jaw just to create the angle he needed to get across the table.
Yeah, it wasn't a near miss. It was absolutely as played. And so was that. 3-1 Neil Raybone. Within 1 with 4.5 minutes to play. This group is shaping up rather nicely for Neil Raybone. He's had the majority of the chances. A crazy number of breaks for the amount of frames. I still can't get my head around that. My notes are cast asunder. The amount of scribbles, just unbelievable.
I've certainly never seen that before. Every now and then you see a re-racked foul break, but 2 in this match. Both times the opponent has gained the advantage, then promptly potted the white off the break. Very strange match in terms of breaking so far, but it is Brian that's made more mistakes in the match. Neil certainly, the mistake he made was a big one. It cost him a frame, but he could easily have won that and won this match 4-0 the way it's gone.
Time running.
It's back on Brian's break. He needs to find a good one. It's mixed about with a cut break and a break down the centre line. Back to the cut. See, by the way, the ball's jumping automatically indicates a bad contact. It's another foul break. Can you believe it?
What's going on out there? It's very strange, this.
Got
that front ball half ball.
I presume you want to break.
No real power going through the back at all. And
just hear from our referee Viv, caught her on the mic there. I assume you want the break. Which is an absolutely Amazing bit of commentary from Viv Resco there. Almost a little bit of a dig. Do you want the break, or do you want to let him go again? Unbelievable.
I'm not really sure what I'm watching out there. It's very strange. And what's strange is the fact that if this was the first match of the night, I'd be saying, is there something wrong? Is there something not quite right out there? But we saw in the previous matches, look at the way that Neil Raybone started tonight. He was breaking massive. A couple of break dishes in his first match, and he looked really sharp. So the fact that the break has just completely deserted him is really bizarre.
It's such a strange one. It really is. And we saw Brian in the first match as well. I've absolutely zero problems with the break. Broke well, good splits, decent attempt. Just a crazy, crazy match. I've genuinely never seen anything like this. Both players struggling the same. Bizarre. Can't explain it.
No, can't explain it at all. As I say, I mean, that one was obvious. You could see how poorly that Brian contacted that front ball. He got it all wrong.
If Neil goes in off here, we are officially in uncharted territory, I think. I think one more poor break away from our referee Viv from offering to do it himself, and that white was going in. Oh, it's the black in! No! What is going on? This is unbelievable. It was very nearly a foul break, it was very nearly a golden break, it was very nearly a golden duck.
All sorts happening with the break here. We've now had 8 breaks in this match, and this is only the 5th frame. This is absolutely incredible stuff out there.
Well, one thing is for sure, despite the white tracking towards that corner pocket indicating that it wasn't the best of breaks from Neil Raybone, he's got the split back. That was a well-hit break in some ways. 50% of the work was done.
Yeah, quality of contact on the break was absolutely there. It's just the half of the cue ball was going straight into that corner pocket without being kicked out the way. Now that he's worked out those opening 2 pots, which were very good, he now has a great opportunity to wrap this match up.
Yeah, it's got to be at this stage, doesn't it? Got to imagine this is the one.
Looks to be in absolutely perfect position here. Can just drop this in. He can actually play through the gap of the yellow and the red. Either way, you can play for the bottom left, bottom right.
And a win for Neil. Means he has Jordan Shepherd to play in his 3rd and final match, and his fate is in his own hands.
Yeah, all he'd need in that match would be a point. John can get to 6. If Brian loses this match, he can still get to 4 points rather, 2 points for a win.
And ordinarily, Simon, if you were saying that the winner of his first 2 matches had a bottom of the table player to play who's missed 14 pots and has only won a couple of frames in his 2 matches, you'd be thinking, well, let's chalk this one up, put Neil in the quarterfinals. But he's still got Jordan Shepherd to beat, and I think Jordan will have a bit of a point to prove.
Yeah, definitely. It's not the normal top versus bottom for sure.
Playing the match, Neil Raybone.
And that will do it for Neil Raybone. A really, really good win for him. A match that he had to graft through at times. That wasn't easy. He's just about got his way over the line. Good win that for Razor. And as we say, his destiny is in his own hands.
Yeah, no, for all the strange things happening on the break in that match, and it really was very strange out there. You can't master the fact that Neil Raybone played a fantastic match. 2 more finishes from the break. The only real mistake he made was when he was looking like counter-clearing in one of the earlier frames, but he played a very solid match for 2 consecutive matches, and he sits proudly at top of the table.
Yeah, he certainly does. Brian Halcrow will be up next. He still has something to play for. This next match between Brian and John Rowe is potentially for a place in a shootout should Neil Raybone slip up. Still plenty to play for when we come back in the Champions League pool.
This programme is brought to you by vinny.co.uk.